Well, as we all know, I do like Sinn and I do like the H-Link bracelet of the U1 or the H-Link bracelet of Sinn in general. However, there's one weak point, and this is the point I want to show you today. Hello and welcome to Watch Maxy's Watch Videos. My name is Axel and I'm glad to have you on the show. The 2-link bracelet, or as the English crowd says, the H-Link bracelet, is a very robust and nice bracelet, and I actually do like it a lot and I never had any issue with it. However, just recently I learned that there is a weak point because the clasp opens unintendedly in certain situations. And this is something I'd like to point out in the second part of the video, and before that I'm going to present the bracelet as such. Well, this is my U1, which has been with me for about 7 years now, and it's not about the U1 which you can see here, it's about the bracelet, and the bracelet is also about 7 years old, and for this age you can see it's in a really good condition. There are some polished points on the bracelet, that's from the sand on the beach and in the water with the waves, so this is a polishing factor which is fine with me, but there are no dings, no dents, no bigger marks. It's a thick bracelet with screwed links. You see, these are special screws, and Sinn delivers tiny little toys to operate these screws and shorten the bracelet as and when required. This is referred to as the 2-link bracelet, or as the H-link bracelet, English speaking, as you can see with the H-shaped main links. In German you won't say it, but in English you can say H-link bracelet or 2-link bracelet. Both is well understood. The bracelet, as you can see, has a little play. The links don't fit close to each other, and I do like it because it facilitates cleaning the strap after diving, after being on the beach. Dirt doesn't stick between the links, doesn't scratch the links in between, so it's easy to clean without being too flexible. Flexible, you can see the strap is a little bit more flexible towards the arm side rather than the outer side, but it's still flexible enough to sit comfortably on the wrist. The end links are solid and well fitted into the case, and there is no play. You can move the bracelet and the link fits closely between the lugs. As you can see, there is some different color of the end link and the case. It slightly depends on the light conditions and how you move the watch. That is due to the fact that the bracelet is stainless steel and the watch itself is U-boat steel. Both are fully tegimented, but there is a slight difference in color. It's sometimes more, sometimes less. If you want to have it as similar as possible, you have to look at it when you buy the watch. Here you can see the milled, well done, solid end links which perfectly fit between the lugs. There are drilled lugs which facilitate strap change, and as you can see, no scratch, although the watch is about 7 years old. The clasp itself is not milled steel but thicker steel sheet. The folding mechanism itself is milled steel, really solid and massive, as is the diver's extension. Milled steel, solid, really well done. The clasp itself, as you can see, is actually not mint, but in a pretty good condition for being 7 years old. In particular, since the U1 is the watch I always choose if I'm not quite clear which watch to choose. It's an easy watch for me. It's a watch I don't have to take too much care about because it's very robust. The clasp has 3 holes for a fine adjustment of the bracelet in warmer or colder conditions, so there is not always a need to remove a link or add a link, particularly since there is no shorter link or half link. The clasp fits firmly, that's with the diver's extension, and here we have the fold over clasp, which secures the clasp in nearly all situations. You can see where the fold over clasp comes over the material. There is a polished spot, not much, and you can't do it in any other way. And here on the folding mechanism, where metal meets metal, there's also some polished points, as well as on the last links towards the lugs. Not so easy to capture that, but I hope you can see there is a really small polished edge on the last link. These are the signs of wear of a bracelet, which never ever made any problem to me. It is a really solid bracelet, comfortable on the wrist. However, there is one point which causes some issues, and this is what I would like to show you. As you can see, the watch sits on my wrist. It's not too loose. I can slightly move it. It doesn't come to the back of my hand, so this is how I usually wear the watch if it is on a bracelet. The bracelet is closed and I can pull on it and I can rattle on it, and it's really firm. To show you it wasn't a fake pull, here I pull really with force and power. As you can see on my finger, it wasn't a fake pull, so the clasp stands this kind of force and this kind of pull. However, if you get caught somewhere and snag on something, there might be an issue if the force comes to the wrong place. As you can see, you can lift up the clasp, and if you pull, everything goes open. The diver's extension and the main clasp, everything slips open and the watch is very loose on the wrist. It never ever happens to me, but this is something which might be difficult if you're a craftsman or you're diving underwater and the watch suddenly opens like that. Again, diver's extension closed, fold over clasp closed, everything firm. I can pull and rattle. And let's take a pen to show you better and don't cover the situation with my hand. Just slightly lift it up and put on the bracelet and the whole watch is open. It's not a usual situation. It shouldn't happen too often, but sometimes it can happen, and that's really the only weak point I can identify. If you get caught on the end of the clasp towards the diver's extension side. Not very nice. Again, it doesn't happen to me at any time. But what can you do to avoid the situation, to mitigate it? Let me put the macro on and show it to you. The diver's extension as well as the main clasp are held by the groove and tongue principle. Here you can see the grooves in the diver's extension link, and the tongue is, the groove is on both sides actually, as you can see here. The tongue is a little bit tinier and not so easy to put in the picture, but I hope you could see it. And the tongue snaps into the groove. And if it's too loose, you can use a screw driver and widen the slot you can see here. Push it apart a little bit, and by this increase the pressure the tongues put into the grooves, and by this the extension will fit a little bit closer. And this you can do on both sides, on the diver's extension side as well as on the main clasp. It won't resolve the problem in total, but it reduces the risk of just snapping on the clasp on the diver's extension side. It will be a little bit harder, but you can't completely remove it. Well, that's actually a weak point, although it hasn't been a problem for me so far. Well, if you like this kind of videos, leave a comment. I try to respond to all of your comments. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I actually very pleased of any subscription, and you do support my channel with subscriptions. If you like these videos, look forward to the next ones to come. I do. Until then, cheers, Axel.